Okay, so what if I told you that you could fundamentally change how you respond to stress in just 30 days? And all it takes is 5 minutes at a time. This isn't some kind of self-help magic, it's straight up neurology. We're talking about literally rewiring your nervous system from the ground up.
To get a handle on this, I want you to imagine your nervous system is like a city's power grid. And right now, in our modern world, that grid is just constantly overloaded. Every single phone buzz, every email notification, every deadline, it's like plugging in another high-wattage appliance. The whole system is just humming on the verge of a short circuit.
Now, the main control panel for this whole grid is your autonomic nervous system, and it's actually pretty simple. It has two modes. You've got the accelerator, which is your sympathetic system. That's for fight or flight, for stress, for getting things done. And then you have the brake, your parasympathetic system. That's for rest, for recovery, for chilling out.
The problem is, for most of us, that accelerator is just stuck. It's jammed to the floor. We're living in a state called sympathetic dominance. Your body is basically acting like it's running from a tiger 24/7, even when you're just trying to figure out what to have for dinner. It's exhausting. So, how do we fix this? How do we get our foot off the gas? Well, let's look at what happens in just the first week of this 30-day reset. It all starts with flipping a single breaker.
And that breaker is what we call a sensory break. And look, it's not complicated. It's just a deliberate 5-minute period where you intentionally reduce all the noise coming in. The goal is super simple. Give your nervous system a chance to breathe, to power down, and to hit the reset button. Now, when you take that break, you're activating the superstar of this whole operation, the vagus nerve. This is the main line for your brake system. It's this incredible nerve that wanders all the way from your brainstem down into your chest and abdomen, connecting to your heart, your lungs, your gut, you name it.
You can really just think of it as your body's built-in calm-down superhighway. When you activate it, it sends these powerful, it's okay, we're safe signals to all your major organs, telling the entire system to stand down.
And here's the wild part. You don't need any fancy gadgets to do this. Just a slow, extended exhale, like making your exhale longer than your inhale for just 90 seconds, can triple your vagal tone in real time. That's a huge shift in your nervous system from just a minute and a half of breathing.
And we can see the effects almost instantly. A study out of the Netherlands found that adults who just took 3 5-minute breaks in nature every day saw their cortisol, that's the main stress hormone, drop by 28% in the first week. You're not just imagining you feel calmer, your actual body chemistry is changing.
Okay, so that first week is all about immediate relief. But after that, something even more profound starts to happen. So let's get into the deep science of weeks 2 and 3, because this is where we get into actual physical rewiring of the brain.
This is all possible because of this amazing concept called neuroplasticity. It's just a fancy word for the fact that your brain can physically change itself based on what you do repeatedly. Your brain isn't set in stone. It's more like clay. And these little sensory breaks are like the sculptor's tools, slowly reshaping it.
This chart really lays out the journey perfectly. You know, in that first week, you get these nice little moments of calm. But then, in week 2 and 3, you start strengthening your vagal tone overall. What does that feel like? It means you bounce back from stress way faster. You have fewer meltdowns. And by that final week, your whole stress response system starts to renormalize, leading to this sustained feeling of being grounded and focused.
On a structural level, what's happening is incredible. The brain's little alarm system, the amygdala, starts to quiet down. It becomes less twitchy. And at the exact same time, your prefrontal cortex, the logical, decision-making CEO of your brain, gets stronger. You're literally shifting power away from the panic button and giving it back to headquarters.
So, what does this all add up to? When you get to day 30, you're not just coping with stress anymore. You've built an entirely new, much more resilient baseline for your nervous system.
A really great way to picture this is with the concept of the window of tolerance. That's a zone where you can handle life's ups and downs without freaking out or shutting down. For most of us, chronic stress shrinks that window down to a tiny little slot. These breaks, they physically expand that window, giving you so much more room to breathe and cope effectively.
By the end of the month, you've basically built a savings account for your nervous system. And the returns are huge. We're talking a 50% faster recovery from stressful events, a serious boost to your immune system because you're not flooded with cortisol, and get this, a 15 to 20% jump in working memory scores because your brain isn't spending all its energy just trying to survive. But what does this actually feel like for a real person? This quote from someone who did it just nails it. I used to need 3 hours to come back after a loud meeting. Now, 10 minutes, and I'm me again. See, that's the whole point. It's not about never getting stressed. It's about shortening that recovery time so you can get back to feeling like yourself fast.
I mean, at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm in. And the best part is how unbelievably simple this is to actually start. So let's just walk through the game plan.
All you have to remember is the 5-5-5 rule. It's so easy. You take 5 minutes, you do it roughly every 5 hours, so maybe 2-3 times a day, and in that time, you can gently focus on your 5 senses, one at a time.
And this isn't a rigid prescription. Think of it like a menu of options. A visual break could just be watching the clouds go by. An auditory break could be putting in headphones and enjoying total silence. A tactile break might be feeling your feet on the grass. You just have to find the simple things that feel good and calming to your system.
So here's the bottom line. It doesn't take some fancy retreat or expensive tech, it just takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes to start the process of rewiring all 86 billion neurons in your brain, shifting them toward a state of calm and resilience. So really, the only question is, are you ready to start?